Hi there guys, it's Carlos here at Carlos Coaching Corner once again guys. Thank you so much for watching my video. Right then guys, today I'm gonna just give you a little sort of indications on how to zone mark. I've had some of you guys asking me about this particular subject. Now this is a subject that, believe it or not, it's something that it's very much misconceived from football lovers, players, coaches, managers, and I would just like to clear some stuff. I don't want to be here too long explaining one particular element, because obviously then for the guys that don't like a lot of criteria, it gets a bit boring, so I'll keep it very short and sweet. Okay, zone marking. As the name really, zone, explains, is obviously you mark in a zone. You kind of like almost, you are the patrolling on that zone. So just an example, and this is, I always like to coach people in a sense where they understand in relation to the ball, because a lot of the times you watch a lot of and read a lot of and watch a lot of videos and read a lot of books, and they don't actually particularly explain why should you do that particular movement, but where is the ball, you know. So sometimes you learn, yeah, this is the movement, but the ball's on the other side of the pitch. So you need to understand this. So I'm going to explain this today only from the back four, okay? So starting with the back four, the ball goes from the keeper straight into their right back. This is a very straight and very self-explanatory 4-4-2 versus 4-4-2, okay? The Reds got the ball, so they're right back by the ball. Now zone marking would be this particular striker would be responsible to zone mark this area. So he's kind of, if you like, patrolling these two players. So he's not marking the player there, he's not marking the player there, he's basically around this area. So it's kind of almost like, if you like, patrolling this area. So you're kind of screening a little bit these two players as well. This player would then be responsible for either screen this player here or protect that area in case the ball goes on to these areas here, as you can see. So this potentially could happen where the ball is floated here, and then he can be half and half, which then will create obviously pressure. Now how this happens in terms of movements can be very sporadic depending where the ball is. So if the ball's here, obviously these guys will come in a little bit more, these guys shuffle a bit more. If the ball goes on to this left centre half, the same, so he shields. And if he goes in here, he shields, so the zones would change, but what he's doing is just marking a zone and they're defending that particular zone, if that makes any sense. Okay guys, so if you like, if the ball goes all the way down to their left back, potentially this player could be screening and coming into as deep as that, and this guy's screening, okay? This saves a lot of, obviously, pressure from the midfielders. Now, I don't want you guys to think, right, okay, I don't want my strikers to do that, I want my midfielders to do that. That is up to you. I'm not saying this is the only way. I'm only showing you today what is zone marking. I'm not looking at tactics. I'm not looking at specific movements. I'm only looking and explaining to people that don't really understand what zone marking is. So zone marking is particular final third, if you like, for the guys that are attacking that way. Very much is marking the zone, but still working together. So if the ball's in there, they're working together. This guy is either screening these two or screening these two. So he'll affect, if you like, hypothetically, he'll affect these two players if he likes, okay? Okay, if he goes to one player there, then the ball zips into the middle. That can happen very easily. So make sure that, so this player affects that player. Distances is very important. So that would be too deep, that is too short, so obviously too close. Making sure the distances are correct is massive. So if the ball goes on to the left hand side, okay, same thing, this player gets responsible for that player gets responsible for that player, and so forth and so on, okay? So I hope that's clear from the front. Now, once the ball goes on to then midfielders, say the ball is then, say, passed into these midfielders would operate exactly the same way. So the ball's in there, this guy's marking his zone here, so he'll apply a little bit of pressure on the ball. This guy is obviously looking at this guy here, okay? If the ball then is switched on to the other side, same thing applies for this guy. And then obviously this guy will come close a little bit more, and then the guy tucks in a little bit more, and the team does this. Okay, so what you then have is a structure in the team where they're all knowing what zones to be, when to be, how to be, who they're going to be in these zones. So then it becomes quite clear where they are. Now the other thing that's very important is the distances between the back four and the centre midfielders, and also obviously the other midfielders, the wingers, okay? So making sure these distances are crucial. Now the distance between these guys and these guys also, so making sure they're nice and compact, okay? So if you look at it, you've got a nice bank of 4 here, and a nice bank of 4 there, and obviously these 2 strikers, okay? So they'll automatically will affect these guys too. So these guys will then obviously can't have the ball, because these guys obviously are basically on a trigger, just in case that gets one and it drops off, he'll be half and half, and this guy will be affecting is obviously really holding midfield, if you like. This is very important, guys, because I find a lot of the times, in particular when the ball is moved, and this may seem quite confusing really for some of you guys, for the guys that know this is fantastic. A lot of players understand this, but as the then ball moves, they're still here, they're still traveling. So by the time they get here, there's great distances. So they can, so I see this all the time, believe it or not, you know, and even at high levels. So making sure that as we travel, as the ball travels, you know what I mean? And I even like players that predict where the ball's going. So say the ball's coming here and his body language is in, he's already traveling anyway. Do you know what I mean? So if the ball's there, he's already covering that area, he's already there, and all the other players made the same sort of movement, if you like. So the distances are closer, so these guys obviously will drop a little bit in case. Do you know? And then obviously the distances are great. So if you look at this, then you'll have a nice girdle. See? A nice distance. So it's very hard, if you like, to play in between. Okay, so this guy will be shielding that area there, he'll be screening. So there is so many things to coach here. So I don't want to overcomplicate it. I just want to make a little video for you guys, in particular the guys that are not so good at this zone marking. Very effective way to play, in particular against a team that are quite good on the ball and they move the ball quite well. It's quite good, and if you've got good skillful midfielders, so if you start closing them down too quick, they'll go past you quite easily anyway. So for the guys that have got guys in the midfield that are a bit slower, zone marking is good. You know, if they're physical as well, if your team is physical, it's great to play that kind of zone marking and force the opposition to play direct, so you can win it, the first and second balls, and then you can go on a counter if you like. Many teams have played this sort of zone marking for many years. I'll give you examples. Stoke City used to play these quite well, and they were quite successful doing this. West Ham as well, and then you know, many other teams as well out there that have tried to do that. So I hope that's informative, guys. So until next time, it's Carlos here at Carlos Coaching Corner. Take care of yourselves. Bye now.